Good everyone, Gian here from Earth Haven, and today I'm doing a word that Layla tasted out for me to speak about. And the word that she tasted out was vanity. And I was like, vanity, what is vanity? And I was like, fuck, okay, let's explore the word vanity. So I'm gonna give you today some of my perspectives, my insights into vanity and how I look at it, and you can take it for yourself and see how you can come up with the word or where you participate in it. But I want to put a twist to it, or try and put a twist to it, because I've been looking at this stuff for 3 days. Alright, I participated in vanity just before making this video, because I was sitting on the porch and I was thinking, man, I just had a nice nap after a 8-hour work shift that started early in the morning, and that's why I take a nap on my Saturdays. And I say, no, I can't make a video now. You know, I'm not gonna look good, I'm not gonna sound good, it's not the right time. And you know, people's just gonna think, oh, what's Ken talking about? He's talking full of shit. He's talking crap. So that's gonna ruin my image. It's gonna ruin how I perceive myself. It's gonna ruin what I have inside of myself that I think has value. So in other words, I am participating in vanity because I have this mirror in my head and I have a picture of myself that I don't want to destroy. That's vanity. Now, if you Google the word vanity, what's the first thing that comes up? Is a mirror, right? It's a mirror. It's this like a makeup dressing thing that you put in your room, and it's gonna mirror. So you're participating in vanity. As long as we have an image in our head, it doesn't matter how that image looks. It can be being a geek, being a nerd. It can be being super cool. It can be whatever. That is vanity. And where does our modesty become vanity? Because if we are too modest to change, if you feel like, no, I can't push through this point, I can't speak about this point, I can't do this point, this is gonna ruin my image, you're being modest. You're being modest towards the mind. And you're being modest with not living what's here in the physical, a point you have to act on, if it's something you have to do. I was being modest while I was thinking, you know, I can't make this video now, it's not the right time. But at the same time, that was vanity. And this is how I've been looking at it. How is vanity and modesty the same thing? But it is created in such a way that the person that thinks, no, I'm being modest, I'm being nice, I'm not being full of myself, I'm not, you know, I'm not being vanity. That is vanity. That is you looking as yourself as an image in your mind. So you're unwilling to change, to be someone else, to push through points, because you're holding on to a modest point, which is still an image of yourself. It's still something you believe of yourself. It's still you standing with the phone and taking a selfie of this idea you have of yourself. That is your modest character. Then you have people that's actually in vanity, right? They're the people that you see take all the selfies and just think about themselves, just themselves. That's how you can imagine vanity look like. Now, when we do things with the vanity and modesty point, we are actually within that playing in a polarity. The polarity feeds each other. So whenever you think you are in vanity because you're being confident, you're being expressive, then you're judging yourself and you go back to your modest point, where you put yourself back in your place. You say, no, I should be modest, I shouldn't change. I should keep my image the way it was. I'm willing to break your image. If you are in a vanity point, you're unwilling to go to the modest point. But then you're being modest about being in vanity. So it's this whole cycle of vanity and modesty playing out the whole time. So how do we stop this? How do we stop this point? Well, first of all, the key is always take a breath. And that is what I did before I made my video. So it was a real-time point. I was going to keep myself in my place because I had an image of myself staying in my place, doing things at the right time, because I'm being modest. I don't want to sound and look like I'm being full of myself. I'm just jiving around like, look how confident I am, right? Look how sexy I am. Look how good looking I am. Look how I can make a video on the spot. No, I didn't want to look like that. So then I was remaining modest, which is my modesty. So then I had to breathe and I'm like, okay, now I'm in this polarity. Like, do I make a video? How do I sound? What do I say? Do I remain modest in the video? Or do I look like I'm in vanity in the video? Like, oh, look at Gian. Look how Gian speaks. Look how Gian looks. Look how Gian makes words sound. Right? Both vanity and modesty of the same coin. And I have noticed through supporting people how people that don't change, and this is a very important insight I've had actually, is that people that don't change, that you don't see necessarily pushing through points, that you don't necessarily see showing up for change, people that think they're being very modest, they're being kind, they're being humble, they're being considerate, actually are stuck sometimes in the most vanity point, because they have such a strong image of themselves. It doesn't matter if that image is negative or positive. Mainly, obviously in this case, it's negative. They won't change it. The fear of change is so strong, of breaking that image of themselves that they look at inside of their heads all day, every day, as this negative person or this bad person. That is vanity. You're stuck looking in a mirror of yourself that you're unwilling to move away from that mirror and be someone else. Change yourself. Become a better person. Become a better human. And that is a physical living. It's not something you're going to get by thinking about it. Because thinking and feelings, thoughts, emotions, though that's your mirror. If you're stuck in your mind all day, that's vanity. Because everything then is done in vain. Right? Because if you don't do something in the physical, how are you going to have feedback? How are you going to see that you can change? And what if it is in vanity that you're changing and being full of yourself? Then you change, you learn, become humble. But your humbleness can also become your vanity. Vanity is a very interesting word that just opened up, and here I am exploring it and trying to give everyone what I've looked at for 3 days now with a word that Leila tested out for using her life integration skills, and to see what comes up. So vanity, very interesting point, and I just was sitting in it, but I didn't see it that way. Our minds justify and look at things in such a way that it looks right? It looks good, it makes sense, because we don't want to hurt our image. So we always argue for our image. We don't argue for change. We don't argue for what can be better. Can I do this? We don't argue for moving in the physical and seeing what's real or not. We rather sit in vanity, in vain, and look at ourselves, our image of ourselves, and not change that, not remove that image in our mind that we keep holding on to as how we define ourselves, and to see who am I in physical. So we're being modest at the same time. We think we're being modest, our modesty. So our modesty is like being, let me find it, modesty. So I just had it, modesty. The mode I see. It's like the mode I see. You hold on to your mode, your mood. That's your modesty. And then you have vanity, vain, everything in vain. I mean, it's in the veins, right? Is everything in vain? Is our veins for nothing? Is our heart pumping for nothing? So we have to look at vanity and modesty the same thing, not as two separate things. When we see whenever we participate in vanity, we're being modest, and when we're in modesty, we're participating in vanity. So how do we stop the cycle of holding ourselves back or doing too much? How do we find the path to self-expression? And I'm going to leave this here for you, so you can also explore the word for yourself. And I hope this helped. This was Leila's testing, and I'm going to push some more words and talk about more words and explore more inner processes, perspectives, and just things I look at and how I see things, and giving it to you guys so we can all have a look at things. All right, thank you.